Welcome to our final lesson in Module 3. We've covered methodologies and risk, and now we turn to what is arguably the most critical factor in any project's success: the people. This is Lesson 3.5, Stakeholder Analysis, the Relationship Framework. As the visual suggests, projects don't happen in a vacuum. They are complex networks of people, and your ability to navigate these connections will define your success. Let's learn how to do it strategically. It's a simple truth that we often forget: projects are about people. You can have a perfect plan, an unlimited budget, and the best technology, but if the right people aren't on board, your project can still fail. Stakeholder management is the art and science of identifying these key people, understanding their needs, and building the support you need to succeed. Our goal today is to give you a structured process to do just that. By the end of this lesson, you'll know how to identify, analyze, and effectively engage the key people who can either make or break your project. So, let's start with the fundamental definition. Who exactly is a stakeholder? The formal definition is any individual, group, or organization who can affect, be affected by, or even just perceive themselves to be affected by a decision, activity, or outcome of your project. That's a broad definition, so let's simplify. They can be internal to your organization, people like your direct team members, your boss, your project sponsor, or the heads of other departments like finance or IT. They can also be external, people like your customers, your suppliers, government regulators, or even the local community. If they have a stake in the game, they are a stakeholder. Managing all these relationships can feel overwhelming, so we don't leave it to chance. We follow a simple, repeatable three-step process. This framework turns a complex social challenge into a manageable series of tasks. Step 1 is to identify. Here, we brainstorm and list out every possible stakeholder we can think of. Step 2 is to analyze. This is where we prioritize them to figure out who needs most of our attention. And step 3 is to plan. Based on our analysis, we create a specific plan for how we will communicate and engage with each stakeholder group. Identify, analyze, plan. For step 2, analyzing our stakeholders, we use a simple but incredibly powerful tool, the Power Interest Grid. We map each stakeholder on this grid based on two key dimensions. The vertical y-axis represents their power, their ability to influence the project's outcome. The horizontal x-axis represents their interest, how much they care about the project's success. This gives us 4 distinct quadrants. Stakeholders with high power and high interest are your key players. You must manage them closely. Those with high power but low interest need to be kept satisfied. Those with low power but high interest should be kept informed. And finally, those with low power and low interest simply need to be monitored. This analysis is useless unless it drives action. So, for step 3, we use the grid to create our engagement plan. For the Manage Closely group, your project sponsor, for example, you engage them constantly. You collaborate with them, seek their input, and treat them as partners. For the Keep Satisfied group, like a busy department head, you consult them on key decisions that affect them, but you don't overwhelm them with daily details. For the Keep Informed group, like the broader employee base, you keep them in the loop with regular, one-way communications like newsletters or status reports. And for the Monitor group, you expend minimal effort, but you don't forget they exist, as their power or interest level could change over time. So where do you keep all this valuable information? You document it in a formal document called the Stakeholder Register. Think of this as your relationship playbook for the project. It's a living document that you will refer to and update throughout the project lifecycle. It typically includes the stakeholder's name and their role, their assessed power and interest level from your grid analysis, a summary of the key needs and expectations from the project, and finally, your planned engagement strategy for them. This ensures your approach is deliberate and professional. I want to be very clear about the goal here. Effective stakeholder management is not about manipulation or just telling people what they want to hear. It is about the genuine, professional practice of building trust, creating alignment around shared goals, and fostering real relationships. When you do this well, something amazing happens. A stakeholder who might have been neutral or even opposed to your project can become your biggest advocate. They become a champion who will defend your project in meetings you're not in and help you solve problems you didn't see coming. That is the real payoff. Let's lock in the key takeaways for your stakeholder playbook. First, take the time to identify everyone who has a stake in your project's outcome. Second, analyze them using the power, interest grid to prioritize where you spend your valuable time and energy. Third, plan your communication strategy based on that analysis. Remember that the ultimate goal is to build allies and champions, not just manage contacts. And the most important lesson of all, don't leave relationships to chance. Be deliberate, be strategic, and be proactive. And with that, you have completed Module 3. A huge congratulations is in order. You've mastered the core techniques of project management. You have the foundation from Module 1, the leadership skills from Module 2, and now the practical techniques from Module 3. You have all the individual plays in your playbook. So what's next? It's time to put it all together. It's time to learn how to run the entire game from kickoff to the final whistle. In our final module, Module 4, we will give you a step-by-step guide to implementing everything you've learned. You've mastered the plays. Now let's go win the game. I'll see you there.